While Bubble hangs back at Billy's place, Cliff and I are heading to Kanawha State Forest to meet with Joe Perdue and John to hear about John's incident there and other activity in the same area. Hey guys.
Hey.
Fantastic habitat. Look how the steep walls in here, slow moving creek on the bottom. This place is squatchy.
And this is where the salamanders come down in spring.
Correct, yeah. This whole valley floods whenever it's springtime and the water's coming off the hills, and then the amphibians follow.
So walk us through the story. What happened that night?
So that night I come out here to look for salamanders and amphibians. Getting dark, I get to my first vernal pool that I want to check, and I hear like the most bone-chilling howl I've ever heard in my life. Whoa, like that. So it was whoa.
And how far back into the woods?
Maybe 30 yards.
So between here and the creek then?
For sure, yep.
That close?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So a fairly short, just like, and that was it?
Yeah, so I heard 2 of them that night. I heard 1, and then I immediately retreated back to my car. I literally thought, get out of here. So the second one literally vibrated like everything in the car. Like you could hear the mirrors, like the stuff in the change.
Wow.
Yeah, it was loud.
So it was coming from that pocket of trees, not like up on the ridge or on the side of the hill or something, right there.
It was down here in this valley.
You're sure it wasn't like an owl or a coyote?
Nah, I'm positive it was not. So I'm an amateur herpetologist, so I'm out here sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, and I've never heard anything replicate that sound. It was definitely a very large, not explained animal.
Wow.
So after that, I left and contacted Joe, hoping that Joe would tell me that, you know, this isn't anything abnormal, but it was the complete opposite from Joe.
And Joe, you had heard about Sasquatch sightings in West Virginia?
Not just in West Virginia, but actually in this park. The next morning after John had contacted me, and I parked right where your truck's parked at. As soon as I got out of my truck, I noticed these footprints that almost seemed to be illuminated because the way the trees are positioned, there's a right-of-way, and the sun was coming straight down and was casting a shadow into the footprints.
As another excellent example of the way technology is advancing Bigfoot research, look at Joe. He was documenting the entire scene as it happened with his cell phone, and that brings a whole new level of documentation.
The first set of prints that I found were right in this general area. It's really soggy land, but here is one of the footprints here, followed by another. I was unable to match the depth of that, and at the time I was around 265 pounds. And I even jumped from right where that tree's at and really jammed my feet down beside him to try to mimic that depth, and I couldn't even get close. My assumption is once it saw the headlights coming and John pulled off the road, this creature turned and made a beeline that way. My estimation is right here, we're looking at the front end, and here's the heel. And whatever was through here was moving that way.
So where was the track that you made the cast of?
Those are right over here.
All right, let's check it out.
And then here we go. You can see the size of these are pretty good.
Right in here?
Yeah, right around where Cliff was standing, a little bit further behind the tree, but right in that general area.
And which way were the footprints looking?
They were looking right at John.
Okay, so that might have been where it was standing when it hollered. So you're real confident it wasn't just like a boot print of a person?
Yeah, I'm very confident it wasn't a boot print of a person. I wear a size 16 shoe.
Okay.
And this was 3 inches longer. As soon as I got signal outside of the park, I gave John a call to let him know what kind of evidence we had. And I presented it in a way to kind of be a little funny with him. And I told him, I said, unfortunately, I can't tell you that you did not encounter a Sasquatch.
Okay.
You totally encountered a Sasquatch. And
I think my response was just shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's the most recent thing that you know about from this general area?
Well, John and I were actually out here on Sunday.
Oh.
We both saw what the best we can discern. as the back of a head and left shoulder as it left and moved into the brush.
Excellent. So great that you got this cast, and it's so good that you got this recent activity, because that's what we were looking for.
Considering all of the activity that's been going on in this park this year, and the fact that you guys might have even seen one a week ago, I'd say this is the spot for the night investigation, unless Bobo comes back with something totally weird and crazy, which is a high probability because it's Bobo.
Well, good luck.
We're gonna need it. It's Bigfooting.